Hey guys, how are you guys doing? I'm gonna give you guys a quick word, but I just want to say that I want to encourage those of you guys who listened to that video last night about me sharing, some experiences in the past and teaching you guys about fighting and standing through the test. Standing through the test and the trials and tribulations and really just fighting through it is what will ultimately lead you to the next chapter of your life, and it will ultimately train you how to fight through warfare rather than pulling a Jonah and running, right? I want to also just mention that when you go, we all know that we're not supposed to have any fear, we're not supposed to have any anxiety, we're supposed to trust God, and we're not supposed to fear anything but God, right? But I want you to know that when you go through certain experiences like that, and you don't know what's going on because you don't have the wisdom, you don't have the knowledge and understanding as to why you're going through what you're going through. Do you see how the police officers break the rules? We could never do what they do, ever. So what I was saying is, when you go through certain things like that, you don't have wisdom, you don't have knowledge and understanding, and you're experiencing things of the unknown affecting you, things of the unknown attacking you, and you can't speak on it because people are gonna think you're crazy. They're gonna try to lock you up in a hospital, try to put you on medication. And because what these people will do, these witches and warlocks, is they're very strategic. They're very strategic. As like I said, with the whole coconut ritual that they do, the coconut ritual they do is to mess with your mind. They will do these rituals to mess with your mind so your mind can go crazy and all of that. So they're very strategic. What they'll do is they'll mess with your mind, and then when they mess with your mind and your mind is all over the place, you can't think straight, you're fogged, you're like, why am I having these thoughts? Then they will mess with your dreams, your sleep. Okay, so because they mess with your sleep and there's a lot of warfare going on, your dreams are messed with, so you can't even sleep. So the point is they're trying to sleep deprive you and trying to keep you up. I remember reading a comment in under the video I posted yesterday where someone was saying they went through the same experience as me, and they said that to the point where they couldn't sleep, they were being jerked out of their sleep, and jerked as in their body kept jerking. And it's true, when they do witchcraft on you, your body starts twitching and you start waking up because your body's every time you fall into a deep sleep, they're waking you up, they're making big bangs. Because what it is when you don't sleep, you're not as cautious when you don't sleep. You're tired. You can't function properly when you don't sleep. You can't even think, right? So the average human being, when they lose sleep, they can't focus, they can't function, they can't think. You ever been so tired one day, you stay up all night, that you're slurring your words? The things you're saying don't even make sense. You're like, man, I gotta go to bed. Because you start slurring your words. You ever stay up late on a phone call and you're trying to stay up late on a phone call? And then you start saying things that don't make sense. You ever tried praying before you go to bed to God and you're so tired, your prayers start not making sense. You're like, God, what am I saying? You have to snap out of it and pray properly. But that's because you're so tired. That happens to the average human being. So now imagine going through that while there's someone doing a ritual on your mind, and while there is someone that is messing with your mind. You get what I'm saying? Look, they're already doing something to mess with your mind, and then they're sleep depriving you at the same time, right? And then on top of that, they're sending spirits to you. So it's very organized crime that they're doing, right? So that will make anybody who is experiencing that panic and start hallucinating, start running, start going through a lot, because yes, you're gonna see some things, but then some things are not what it seems to be, because you're also very tired, because they're sleep depriving you. So they will sleep deprive you for days on days on days on days. Okay, there's a video I watched on TikTok where this happened in Russia many years ago, but a group of scientists in Russia did this experiment where they kept people awake for days. They weren't able to sleep. They kept them awake for days, and they put them under this system where they couldn't go to bed. And they wanted to study the body movements of these people who were awake for days, and these people started panicking, started yelling, started doing things that they don't normally do. So the witches and warlocks do the same thing. They sleep deprive you, and then on top of them sleep depriving you, they do things to mess with your mind. So now when you're doing all this stuff and you're acting like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And they're actually sending spirits and you're seeing them, now people think you're crazy. And then now they put you in the psych ward. And then when they put you in the psych ward and they inject you and then they medicate you, the medication and the injection now makes you start not making sense, it also makes you feel more woozy, more zombie-like. So now, because they're messing with your mind, they're sleep depriving you, and now you're medicated, now for sure you're not going to make no sense. And then the doctor will come in and start writing things about you while you're going through all this, and then it looks like you're crazy on paper. So now if you try to expose them and expose what they're doing, right, it looks like you're crazy because they have on paper that you're this and you're that. It's a setup. Okay? It's a setup. They're very organized with it. All right? Anyways, that's not the point of me saying that, but I want to just give you guys this thing. But the point of me saying this video is when you experience this stuff and you don't know what's going on, you don't have the knowledge or wisdom, there's no one you can talk to that is educating you on this. Because knowledge, my people will perish for lack of knowledge. Knowledge goes a long way. When you know certain things, it's like almost like there's a sense of comfort. There's a sense of comfort. That's why I don't hesitate to speak on these things or speak on what I've been through, because I know many of you guys have been through it and you guys are finding comfort in it, and it helps you because now you're like, man, I knew it. I knew I wasn't crazy and they were trying to gaslight me. I knew it. Now you're more hungry to fight. Now you're more hungry to fight for what is yours, what is rightfully yours, which is your birthright, right? Because now you have understanding of what's going on. When you don't have understanding, you panic. You panic. And then because you're panicking, then comes fear. Then comes fear. And then you start to fear. Once you realize, oh my gosh, it is witchcraft, then you start to fear the witches and warlocks who are doing this to you. You start to fear the spiritualists who are doing this to you. Right? But let me tell you something. Now that you guys have the knowledge and the wisdom as to what is going on, there's no need for you guys to have any fear. Stay in this trials and tribulations and fight through it. So you can get better and better and better, so you can grow through it. You become strengthened through it, because God is strengthening you through it. He is training you. What God mentioned to me yesterday was, He said, these witches, spiritualists, and warlocks, they're more afraid of you. They're more afraid of you. That's why they have to catch you at the beginning stages of you discovering your gifts. That's why they have to catch you at the beginning stages before you find anybody online who understands all this. If they can catch you at the beginning stages, they feel like they can have more control over how you navigate through the journey. Right? So they're more scared of you than you are of them. That's why they have to step in early on in it. God was showing me an example, an analogy of insects, bugs. How many of y'all don't like spiders? How many of y'all don't like... Listen. I ain't afraid of no spider. But child, let there be a roach in the house or a centipede, and you will see... Do you see what I'm saying? How many of you guys see insects, you're like, ah! Or a rat or a mouse, you're like, ah! But the insects are more scared of you than you are of them, because look how small they are and look at you. Look how small they are and look at you. God said the witches and warlocks and the spiritualists doing these things to y'all are more scared of you than you are of them. That's why they have to start early. Because you see, if you guys get to a level where I am at right now, where I know everything that's going on, I can see everything that they're doing, that's their biggest fear. They don't want y'all to see what they're doing. They want to do their dirty work in private. They want to continue torturing people, making them look crazy because they're jealous of their success. They're jealous of their elevation. They're jealous of their marriage. They don't want to see nobody above them because they're selfish. They want to continue doing this dirty work that they've been doing on people for centuries, for years. And they don't want nobody to expose them. And you being a child of God, you being a seer, you being someone that can hear, and you are finally acknowledging your gifts, and you're like, man, I can see and hear now, and all of a sudden you're going through all these things, is because they don't want you to be so advanced in your gifts that you can see everything that they're doing. They're scared of you. And that's why when a witch attacks you, warlock attacks, spiritual attacks you, why do you think they will never come to your face and say, I just did a spell on you, I just cursed you, I just did black magic on you, I just did a ritual on you? Why do you think they will never come to your face and say it to you? Why do you think they will never ever try to reveal that they did this to you? Why do you think they have to go behind your back and pay people to do it? Why do you think they have to do it behind your back? Why they're not bold enough to say to your face that they did it and to do it in front of your face? Why do they have to pay people to do it behind your back? If they're not afraid of you, why do they right, have to hide behind faceless profiles, change their names, their Instagram names, Facebook names, YouTube names constantly to stalk you? And why do you think they have to gaslight you in the emails, the comment sections, text messages, phone calls? Why do you think they have to do their dirty work behind other people? Why do you think they have to find scapegoats to do the work for them, or scapegoats that they can blame? See, when you're dealing with a child of God who is gifted and bold, that child of God ain't afraid to speak out. That child of God ain't afraid to say, look, I'm showing my face. I'm me. And I'm exposing you. Because we authentic. We ain't afraid. Why ain't we afraid? Because we are strengthened through Christ. We are the daughters and sons of Christ. There's nothing to be afraid of. You see what I mean? This is what we're made for. And what we know, we see, we get confirmed from God. So there's no reason for us to be afraid, because we know we are validating the truth. Right? But these people, they're scared of you, and that's why they gotta hide and do their dirty work. That's why they gotta hide and pay spiritualists. That's why they gotta hide in churches and pretend they're Christians and use Christianity as a disguise. That's why they gotta hide and do these things. That's why they have to disguise themselves as Christians and pretend that God is telling them to expose you. Or that's why they gotta hide behind the mask of a Christian and falsely accuse you and attack you, because they want to attack you as themselves, as the warlock, the witch, but they can't. So they gotta hide because they're afraid. They're afraid. They're more scared of you than you are of them. The only reason why you showed a lot of fear in the beginning towards them is because you didn't know what was going on with you. Anybody that was going through what we go through is going to show some fear, because, child, what is this unknown thing attacking me? And why am I seeing this person's face in the spirit? Of course you're going to have a little bit of fear, because at that time they may have had a lot of control over the situation, because you didn't have any wisdom and knowledge. But in all actual reality, they're more scared of you. They're more scared of you. And that's why I push y'all to, like, keep going. Fight through it. This is what they don't want. This is what they're afraid. They're afraid of you fighting. That's why they have to gang up against you. That's why a lot of them have to group up and put their money together. Oh, I got 5. I got 10. I got 20. Okay, I'm gonna drop 200. I'm gonna drop 300. Okay, how much does the spiritualist want again? Oh, she wants 3,000. I get paid next week. I'm gonna drop 10. That's why they all gotta go behind your back and drop money, drop funds to pay these spiritualists to attack you, because they're afraid of your success. And that's why they gotta hide behind the scenes and attack you, because they're afraid that you'll find out it's them. They don't want people to know it's them. They're punks. They're punks. Okay? I love y'all. Don't fear nothing but God. I'm not gonna lie though. I'm way more afraid of a centipede than I am of a witch.